Hi everyone, my name is Chris Cawthray and welcome to Drum Every Day's play-along video to the song Easy Tiger. This song is based on a polyrhythmic concept. What does that mean? Well, it means that a duration of time in music made up by a set of notes can be understood in two different time signatures. And what we're talking about here is a series of 12 notes. In 4/4, these 12 notes are expressed as triplets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. In 3/4, these 12 notes are expressed as 16th notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. What happens is that when you look at the chart that I've provided, the 3/4 sections have a quarter note tempo marking of 70 beats per minute. And the 4/4 sections have a quarter note tempo marking of 93 beats per minute. Now this is tricky and a little bit misleading because we don't actually change tempo. The subdivided notes stay the same speed. So at my 70 BPM tempo, 1E and 2E and 3E and at my 93 BPM tempo, I'm taking the same 12 notes at the same speed and calling them triplet eighth notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So what happens is that you have the perception of the quarter note speeding up and slowing down as you shift from 3/4 to 4/4. I'm going to show you 2 bars of 3/4 counted in 16th notes, moving into 2 bars of 4/4 counted as 8th note triplets. 1E and 2E and 3E and 1E and 2E and 3E and 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. The subdivided note I was singing didn't change speed. To prove it, I'm going to sing the triplets over the 3/4 and the 16ths over the 4/4. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. 1E and 2E and 3E and 1E and 2E and 3E and Here we go. The 3/4 groove for Easy Tiger. 1 and 2 and 3 and. That's the main beat. You'll notice the bass drum pattern. And when I play the shuffle, I keep that pattern going. Here's the shuffle pattern. Travels back and forth between 3/4 and 4/4 while everything else changes around it. I'm going to show you a bunch of variations on the 3/4 groove because when you listen to my recording of the song, you're going to see that I don't stay in the main beat very long. Here we go with the sheet, Easy Tiger grooves and phrases. Again, I'm going to play you the main beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Marching feel to it, and a funk at the same time. It's got a lot of stuff going on. Let's play the first variation. Just adding a little bit of 16th note into the hi-hat. Second variation punctuates the end of the bar with 2 open hi-hat swoops. It's a little bit tricky because you're playing a 16th note in the bass drum in between the swoops, but you'll notice in the notation I've notated where to play the foot hi-hat to close it to get that sound. I've notated on the 3rd count. The 1st count you just see a plus above the hi-hat, and that shows you to close the hi-hat. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Third variation adds more 16th notes to the pattern in both the hi-hat and the snare drum. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Finally, a mixture of 16th notes and open hi-hat. Again, these are just suggested variations. You can play more, you can play less. But you want to keep that suggested in the pattern because that's really what ties the song together. Final variation. 1 and 2 and 3 and. One moment in the song that happens around at the 1:14 mark. This is at 1:14 in the song, just before the organ solo starts. The melody is finished and we're doing what we call a vamp, just leading up to it, about 6 bars of vamping, and then this comes in at 1:14. On the form chart, I have noted where it happens as well, so if you wanted to follow along the form chart and play this groove along with Simon's part, you could do that. It's a 3-bar phrase, and it mixes some 32nd notes in the snare drum, and then a repeating 3 pattern that starts the E count of 3. So there's some over the bar line activity, and then it finds itself back into the waltz feel. So here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Do it one more time. 1 and 2 and 3 and. See if you can pick it out in the song. And I've even notated Simon's bass pattern underneath it, and you can see how he picks up. This was purely improvised on the session, but you can see how he picks up those implied 3s by the dotted 8th notes in his bass line. Check it out. Let's move on to the shuffle. Now, shuffles, there's as many shuffles as there are flavors of ice cream. But the main thing here is that this is a triplet shuffle. So that means that the shuffle pattern is expressed as a long note and a short note. And in a triplet, it would be like the first note takes up the first 2 8th notes, 1 trip, and the shuffle note takes up the 3rd triplet. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1. There are a lot of ways to play a shuffle. That space between the long note and the short note, there are many variations. Many different regional styles of shuffles, various drummers or other musicians' interpretations of the shuffle. In the triplet shuffle, we have a strong quarter note with a slight accent on 2 and 4, with the shuffle note being a weaker sound on the triplet. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet. So you're accenting the number count, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, and then playing an unaccented note on the let. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 5 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. And on top of that, you're putting a slight accent or increased amount of weight on 2 and 4. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. Because the bass drum pattern is so important in this song, the main shuffle I play actually doesn't put the shuffle note in the cymbal. I let the bass drum do the shuffling. And this is at letter B on page 2, and it sounds like this. On the shuffle, adding the tom-tom on the last count of the bar, or adding a buzzed note on the snare drum. Here's adding the tom-tom. Adding a shuffled note on the snare drum on count 2. You'll notice in that one, I took a few notes out of the bass drum pattern where the snare drum was making up for them. And finally, I'm shuffling, matching the bass drum and the ride cymbal together. So the ride cymbal is now putting that shuffle in there too. Finally, I want to show you a little thing that I played in the shuffle pattern that you might find interesting. I'm going to play a shuffle into it and a shuffle out of it. 1, 2, 3, 4. I hope you enjoy the play-along track we've provided for you. It has a count-in off the top, and then you play the opening drum pattern for 2 bars. Once the organ's in, we didn't record to a click track, so you have to really listen and notice where we use emotion and time field changes to make musical effects. Enjoy. See you next time.